I thought I'd try something different today. What is shaking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You heard me right. We're doing something brand new today. Normally what I do is I'd break down the hot 10 comics of the week. But today, considering all the books are the same over the past couple of weeks, I decided to cover the top trending comics of the week. Normally there's 20 provided by the Key Collector app. I chose 10, breaking them down all the way to the top spot. But before we get started in this one, I want to remind you guys, as I always do, if you're not a current sub of the channel, you're missing out on videos like this, so make sure you're subbed up and do me the following. Go ahead and hit that like button for the channel. It does help us out. Now, I want to know from you guys, do you like this video? Let me know down in the comments. With that said and out of the way, let's get into the top 10 trending comics for this week. So let's go ahead and get this thing started with an honorable mention. And this week, we're going to start with Uncanny X-Men number 136, published by Marvel Comics in August of 1980. This, of course, is the first appearance of Sarah Gray, sister of Jean Grey. Now, this week, we had a 533% increase in copies sold this week versus the previous week after Sarah appeared in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I got to hear from you guys. Are you buying this book? Have you bought it already? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. At number 10 this week is Uncanny X-Men number 129. Published by Marvel Comics in January of 1980, this is the first appearance of Kitty Pryde. But more importantly, guys, this is the first appearance of Emma Frost, the White Queen. There was a 307% increase in copies sold this week versus the previous week after it was reported that Samara Weaving has been cast as Emma Frost. Do you like this casting, guys? Do you own this book already? More importantly, I gotta think if you're an X-Men fan, you want to own this book. At the 9th spot this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 337 and the first full team appearance of the Sinister Six 2. Doc Ock, Electro, Mysterio, Sandman, Hobgoblin, and the Vulture. Believe it or not, the Sinister Six, introduced in ASM Annual number 1, only appeared together once. Therefore, this issue will be the second full appearance ever of a Sinister Six team. Published by Marvel Comics in August of 1990, there was a total of a 233% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week after Marvel distributed a remastered version of this cover with art by the great Humberto Ramos at the Marvel Fanfare panel at San Diego Comic-Con. One of my all-time favorite covers and a great modern Spidey. More MCU. At number 8 is Marvel Team Up number 48, the first appearance of Wraith. More importantly, this is the first appearance of Jean DeWolf, Wraith's sister. Published by Marvel Comics in August of 1976. Believe it or not, we had a 533% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week after, of course, Jean DeWolf appeared in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Right now, the Key Collector app says you can buy this book in super high grade for only $3. Sticking with Spidey, at number 7 this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 345, where Cletus Cassidy becomes infected by the Venom symbiote and in the very next issue becomes Carnage. Published by Marvel Comics in March of 1991. There was a 248% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week due to a split-second scene in Spider-Man Brand New Day that took inspiration from this cover, this great boomerang cover. Nothing to do with Cletus Cassidy or the story involved, just a great cover homage in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Who said Spider-Man isn't hot anymore? At number 6 this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 194 and the first appearance of Felicia Hardy and the Black Cat, one of the most underrated Spider-Man keys out there. Published by Marvel Comics in July of 1979. There was a 140% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week. But guess what? Key Collector app gives us no other information outside of that. So something's telling me, are we going to get something with Black Cat soon? 140% increase. To me, that sounds pretty good. If you guys like listening to podcasts, do yourself a favor, go check out Ultimate Rewinds over on YouTube and, of course, wherever podcasts can be found. We cover everything from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and today. Ultimate Rewinds podcast is now streaming everywhere. Back to the list. At number 5 this week is Ghost Rider number 28 and the first cameo team appearance of the Nine, also known as the Midnight Suns. Ghost Rider Danny Ketch, Johnny Blaze, Morbius, Blade, Hannibal King, Frank Drake, Sam Buchanan, Victoria Montesi, and Louise Hastings. This is also the first appearance of the Caretaker. Published by Marvel Comics in August of 1992, everybody remembers this book. there was a 278% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week. And believe it or not, this is the second consecutive week that this book has appeared on the Key Collectors Trending 20s list, as of course fans speculate on what Marvel Studios plans to do following the casting of Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. Our first DC book hits the list at number 4, and you guessed it, it's Absolute Batman Annual number 1. Published by DC Comics in October of 2025, this of course is the origin of Absolute Batman. There's also a controversial story where Batman is fighting white supremacists. There was a 126% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week after Absolute Batman Annual 1 won the Eisner Award for Best Single Issue at San Diego Comic-Con. Is Absolute Batman gonna slow down at any point? I want to hear your comments down below. Let's get into the top 3, and at that 3 spot is The Greatest American Hero number 1, one of my favorite shows growing up as a kid. Published by Whatnot/Massive in July of 2026, this printing error led to the cover being recalled after an unknown shape appeared above the rear tire of the green car. Key Collector is saying this is new from last week, so if you are into printing errors and you love The Greatest American Hero like I do, this one you can get in high grade for only $30. Our first Silver Age book hits the list at the coveted 2 spot. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 20 and the first appearance and origin of the Scorpion Mac Gargan. Published by Marvel Comics in January of 1965. It was a 150% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week after Scorpion appeared in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I gotta ask all you Spidey fans out there, were you disappointed that we never got to see Scorpion with the mask on and he wasn't the main antagonist in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Let me know down in the comments. And finally, at the top spot this week, we're heading back to the Bronze Age with Captain America number 180. Published by Marvel Comics in December of 1974, this is the first appearance and origin of Steve Rogers as Nomad. And believe it or not, there was a crazy 783% increase in copies sold this week versus the prior week due to the interest in how Marvel Studios will bring back Steve Rogers in Avengers Doomsday. Now, I want to know from all you fans out there, is Steve Rogers coming back as Nomad? Is he coming back as the regular Cap? Or is he coming back as an evil variant of Captain America? All right, guys, so that is it. A lot of minor keys, a lot of stuff you may or may not be interested in. That's why I want your feedback for this video. A nice replacement to the Hot 10 Comics of the Week when some of the same books are on the list over and over and over. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, happy collecting, and I will talk to you guys soon.